that.
Steve was just, we're talking about you. So,
yeah, we were just doing, Freddie, we were just doing a whole preamble of everybody's memories of you going back to Wild Style and Yo MT Raps, and then even bringing it up to date when we saw you at the marijuana rally a couple of years ago when you were
Yes, I was actually
greener, right?
Yeah, I shot that for my film. Unfortunately, that didn't make it in, but I had great footage that day. That was inspirational.
That was the date, I think, Fab.
That's when I got the papers. You sponsored it, and I was like, these curved papers were so great. And then a mutual friend connected us, and you gave me some. Love those curved papers.
So Freddie, I was trying to kind of get an idea here. You know, where did you come up with the idea? I mean, how did you decide to make that movie?
Well, you know, in the way that great ideas sometimes happen, I was having a conversation with a really good friend that I'm about to go into business with. It's a really interesting story. So this is a guy, it's a black guy, brother from California that had been in the legacy game up and down California, from Humboldt all through the hood, got caught up in the system, was in the system in and out, but still was like, man, as you know, one of the unfortunate things is people that have been these legacy cannabis purveyors and dealers oftentimes have been criminalized in prison, especially people of color. So anyway, we were talking one day about 4 years ago, and he was like, I figured it out. I'm gonna start a consultancy business. I'm gonna call it 40 Acres and a Greenhouse, because he couldn't touch the plant, having been in the criminal justice system. But he could be a consultant to advise these people coming in on all the processes, what strains, how to do it, how to, you know, maximize what it was doing. And in that conversation, the 40 acres was a reference to Black folks having been promised 40 acres and a mule during Reconstruction after slavery, which did happen for a hot minute. So that's why Spike Lee called his film company 40 Acres. It's a reference to the fact that Black folks, after having been enslaved, were denied the ability to take part or to grow, have some land to make things happen for themselves. And so he was going to get that 40 acres in the cannabis space, which was the whole thing. And that conversation sparked the whole idea. I just was like, wait a minute, you know, Black folks with jazz, we've been at the front of this since the beginnings of jazz, which which you'll see in the movie, if you guys haven't seen it, that I learned from my dad, who was a jazz head, and that went back further than I knew. And, you know, if you're a High Times person that's been plugged in, then you know chunks of this history. But then I realized the hip hop people I had introduced to the audience when I was doing the MTV thing, and they were big proponents of the plant, Snoop, Cypress Hill, and damn near everybody else. So that's really was the genesis of the idea. And it was a conversation with a friend. Even the title of the film, Grass is Greener, all happened in this fun conversation, while of course I was hitting something really good and really green and some really great flower. And this whole movie sprung from that. And it was a pretty fun thing to tell the story, which you're gonna see, which is a little bit of a snapshot of where I come from, how I come up, and this story of the plant that connects, joined at the hip, with America's music, jazz. As it grew and was created, so did this plant get spread around. And the fact that particularly the fact that it brought Black folks and white folks and anybody together to celebrate, and share this plant, that's what led to this plant being criminalized. And it's a sad nightmare reality that something so beneficial and helpful has gone through this. And so that was I learned way more. That was the fun thing about making a doc, is I learned a hell of a lot that I was able to share with, you know, with a lot of people, with important guys.